gotten a particular hint to be the former President John Dramani Mahama no go for NDC Professor B because of a certain interview or grant here. Or can say me about the 24-hour economy in a certain in Yamabia, the NDC Wapara or Baban Wotu there. The same to me before is because of the explanation of the two governors. Now, I they all the NDC leaders who won't be for me alpha, which my public Puska. Yet, here some NDC Professor, okay, so I know another one in Kwachawagan.
The world is going AI, the world is going free of oil and things. Look, I haven't heard a lot of the people talk about these things. In this modern world we are in, we are lagging so far behind. But what are we doing to make sure that, at least even in Africa, because South Africa are moving in a particular direction, at least in Egypt, etc. What about Ghana? How are we going to embrace the new economy that the world is entering? And I'm yet to hear anybody tell me exactly what it is.
That 24-hour economies.
That is good. That is good. Digitalization is an excellent thing, one of the best things that ever happened in this country. That's my opinion. Now, 24-hour economy has its issues, which we might not have time to get into. But our economy is such that it is very difficult for a 24-hour economy to work. And it's been a very smart move on the part of the former president. He's gradually moving away from 24-hour economy and talking about other issues, which is good. Because there are too many holes in the dream of 24-hour economy, which if they want to use that as a platform to get to educated people, it will not function. It will not hold. It will not hold. I mean, what are the holes now? Look, one, financing. Right. And it takes major companies. Look, I'll give you an example of Kumasi. Years ago, we had a timber company. True. Production could go on. There was timber supply, location of the industry, etc. So, 24 hours, they were working. Niger David, and all those other timber firms. There were factories that were working in this city 24 hours. The next thing is the market for those products. Now, if there's no market for the product you want to produce, so these are just a few of the things. Okay. So the only thing that will even work to a little extent is maybe food. But food, apart from Bantama, and Accra Osu night market, which has become a whole place and circles. When I was young, I used to eat chufi and Friday down there. Yeah, from when we moved from the discotheque, we would come and eat there. You see, so apart from these places, what restaurant in Accra is going to function for 24 hours? Of course, even hotels. By the time about 12, then they shut down. Why? Because of security. The filling stations used to do 24 hours. So years ago, now people were robbing them. What kind of security are we going to give to them? So at the end of the day, do we have enough to run a 24-hour economy? I doubt.
Indeed, with a professor Nansam no can nanka oyampo. But you see, sometimes you will get a political party there. Now, Jen in Shada and Nama for Yad Wabra, or some welcome proprietary. Because you see, so what the policy was about to go, not only be that you would get it today, they may get it wrong. At least I would even agree that in the beginning of oil certain and you maybe to the fees such as the program. Them that amount for that in Chessity, they felt though, calling them young, calling the okay. But since you are we're to win ya all the accoutrements, we're to win ya a minister to handle all of these things, we're to win ya or yeah. Seminars be way too one to add up to what he's doing, what the government is doing already to make it better for the Ghanaian people. You say, take a month for now, future, you become a better person. But NDC Professor Ekan Damasabi, Obiani Wefu, NDC Fun no Wefu. Just because they were taking as an NDC professor, you should have spoken in favor of them. But no wonder why monitor from.
Things that ever happened in this country. That's my opinion. Now, 24-hour economy has its issues, which we might not have time to get into. But our economy is such that.
24-hour economy is an issue. I mean, yes, this is clear. I don't know why you get a problem with this professor. Now I'm without accreditation because I cited Northern Africa, or cited certain countries at least they are also in Africa moving towards a particular trajectory. Dr. Mahama is also moving towards that same trajectory. Because in the obi to meet na why in Juma. COVID-19 be no boy amount baby companies will be when to a certain extent be there no. Because of the way Juma COVID-19 be no. Yana man from let's create a platform for them to still be working from home. Or your hospital edwuma yɛ different, but edwuma ahorow bebree wɔ hɔ a you can work from home. Ebi a Ghana ɔnyɛ so widespread, but we have a lot of people working from home, and these are digital jobs, these are remote jobs. Digitization bɔboa ma nneɛma nketenkete bi wɔ hɔ a nkasa bi amanfo bɛfo ho wɔdze sika wɔdze ayɛ corruption nketenkete, all of these holes will be closed. It's not like a 24-hour economy is too hollow because if you cite today, not what point the communicators of the NDC themselves watch a 24-hour economy or watch sellers or welders. Imagine. Well, for me, I forgot to my family because guys, I'm so or there, but more than a slow. This year video come will be in you know. Then you put so into Mukansa into Monsanka. Now, on to move on a corner of because Ghana obey, I'm hanging out there in a hectare. It me a kind of
Look at their history. Where are they coming from? What have they done for Mother Ghana before? Let's look at their strength, all right? Who they are. Let's look at their weakness. Let's look at their contribution to Ghana as a country. And let's compare their strength. Let's assess their weakness. And what is their contribution? As said now, we are talking about now to the tickets they are both serving, or they are both what's the right word? Guys, you shall get my point, right? Let's go. So guys, Professor Jenano Opoku was the Minister of Education, and Dr. Matthew Opoku Prempeh was the Minister of Education. They've all served as ministers of education for 4 years in their respective governments, or in their governments. So for Professor Jane Opoku, she served as the minister in 2013 to I think January 2017. So that was 4 years. So it was I think February 2013 to January I think 2017. That's Professor Jane Opoku. And in her time as a minister, okay, she was marked as the person or the minister who brought a lot of policies that changed the educational sector. All right. And among some of the things she did was to change the colleges of education to, like, it was kind of an upgrade. So she kind of upgraded the colleges of education into tertiary schools. Okay. And she also made some significant reforms, okay, when it came to the polytechnics. All right. So for the polytechnics, they were just normal poly as we knew. But I think through her reforms, she was able to change or convert them into technical universities. All right. So in her time as a minister, she was able to actually, I mean, she did well in terms of policy formulation for the educational sector. All right. And most people thought that she didn't really do well. But no, let me add that she also did very well when it came to the construction or infrastructure. So they built a lot of schools. Okay, the e-blocks. Okay, I think we should also credit her for that. She did so well in that regard. She did well. Now let's talk about Dr. Matthew Opoku Prempeh. So for Matthew Opoku Prempeh, most people call him the implementer of free SHS. because free SHS was the baby of Nana Akufo-Addo. So when Akufo-Addo won election in 2016, in 2017, immediately he came to power, he was looking for the fine gentleman or somebody he believes can nurture free SHS. All right. And I think Napo did so well. Okay. And in his time as a minister, I think the senior high school students did very well in their WASI. And I learned that most teacher training unions or teacher unions, either UTAG, CTAG, what have you, all these institutions or unions never went on strike. Okay, because he was able to engage them so well. All right. And he was also credited for restoring the allowance, the teacher training allowance, nursing training allowance for the tertiary students in the colleges of education and the nursing school. And obviously, NDC is known for cancellation of allowance, to the point that even Mahama even mentioned that he doesn't even care if he has to lose the election by just canceling the allowance. And of course, it went against him, as we all know. All right. Then I think he provided a lot of opportunities for the teachers to engage him, advise him on what to be done. So, he's one of the ministers who did not really have a lot of issues in the education sector. So we have to give it to him. All right. So for me, both of them have served as education ministers. And now, Professor Jenna Opoku-Agyeman is an educationist. She's been a lecturer and advanced to the professor level. And being a professor is not a joke. You need to have brain to get there. All right. And she has done amazingly well for herself. And she even became the vice chancellor of a university. That's not a joke. And when you look at Matthew Opoku-Prempeh, he's done amazingly well for himself. I heard he's a dentist, and he's also a politician. Unlike Jenna Opoku-Agyeman, she's just an educationist and a literature scholar, if that's the right word. Okay, and Napo is a politician and has been a member of parliament for his constituency, which is the Menchia South constituency. All right. Now let's talk about Jenna Opoku-Agyeman in the education sector again. Professor Jenna Opoku-Agyeman cancelled the teacher training allowance. It was in her time. And there were a lot of schools that did not have chalk to write. She did not provide chalks, to the extent that Mr. Atter's wife went to a school and told them that, yeah, mamu chalk with nem mamu chalk china. So parents should buy their own chalks. Yes, it was in Jenna Opoku-Agyeman's era or term as a minister of education. Again, it was in her time that teachers were asked to teach for 3 months, then they are paid only a month salary.
You do. Now, Demra, they may be out no. I bring in nothing but the truth. I bring you facts back to back content. Now, but mazana share video, share. Don't be so nice and cover the new year. Share what your comment section. But from me, Yafa, what my from a kuska. I'm a crowd later in the go.